Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today I'm back out in my local mountains for another day trip, and today I really wanted to do a video covering my ICECO JP50 Pro. Now this is a fridge that ICECO sent out to me a couple months back, and I've been using it on all of my recent trips. So far it's my favorite fridge I have ever used, and I'm gonna want to get into that today. Now, like every product, it's not perfect, and so there's some things that I want to highlight that could be better about it as well. But with all that being said, let's get into the video. So this is the ICECO JP50 Pro. Now, I just kind of want to start by talking about the design and the layout and all that. You have a pretty nice black plastic bottom right here. This kind of surrounding is metal, and so you actually can magnetically stick things to it, which is kind of nice because there is an external battery that I do not have, but you can get, I think it's like 250 watt hours, and you can magnetically attach it to the side here, and then you can plug their fridge into it to make the fridge mobile. And so that is a really nice feature. Say you're camping somewhere, maybe at a campground, and there's bear lockers. Really easy and convenient way to get this fridge safely put into a bear locker at night. I mean, it could be a great use case at like the beach or the lake, and you want to bring the fridge down by the water. You can do that. And obviously you could just leave it plugged in as well. I just think that that's a really well thought out addition to the JP50 line, or the JP Pro line, I should say. Now this is the 50. It does come in some smaller sizes as well. I chose the 50 because I do have a family of 5. Usually it's just me and the kids on weekend trips. And so, you know, with that being said, the 50 is a great size for me to pack up enough food for the entire family for a weekend. And maybe if it's just me or maybe 1 or 2 of the kids, I can do an extended trip in this thing, no problem. Now you have outlets in both the front, so you can plug in right here or in the rear. Back here you can see, so you've got your AC/DC outlet plug-in, and you also have a USB port back there. And so in the back and in the front, you just have your regular outlet. Now you have 2 handles, so this is like your pulling handle if you're wheeling it, because it does have some wheels in the rear, and so you can use this as like a pull along fridge and just kind of carry it with the rollers on the back, which is nice. I think that's also kind of well thought out, being that they have the external battery source, so that if you want to make this mobile, you've got the wheels, you've got the battery, if you purchase the battery extra, and you've got a great nice handle to pull it. If you're just picking up the fridge, this is the handle that you would use. Smaller, it's got like this nice metal grippy surface, and so well thought out there as well. Now up front, we've got the control panel, and so you've got a power button and you've got a settings button. And so with the settings button, we can kind of hold it down, and then we can go through different menu options. Now I'm in eco mode, but if I wanted to go to max, I would change that by pushing the plus or minus button. I leave it in eco mode because it is permanently connected to my dual battery system. This thing runs really efficiently, so I just like to leave it like that. Some other settings that you can change, you can hold this down and go to up top, this battery cutoff. So depending on where you want your safety level to be, whether medium, low voltage, or high voltage cutoff, I just leave mine at medium. That just does protect your battery from drawing too much power to a point where maybe your battery wouldn't be able to start your car again. And so it is a nice safety feature. I always recommend, if you're going to run fridges like this, to either run them on a power bank like that over there, or with a dual battery system. I do use a lot of power banks for different like camera equipment and stuff, but I rely on my dual battery system for running my fridge full time, as well as a solar panel that I've got on the roof of the truck. Up top, we've got a really nice sturdy lid with handles on each side. And so you can release and pull up like so, release, whoop, and pull up like so. So you can open it from either side, or I really can't do this. Let's see if I can, there we go. Whoop. All right, or you can remove the lid completely. A little tough to do one-handed while I'm holding the camera, but very, very cool feature. And then you've got these little indents right here that the lid sits into, and so it really doesn't matter how you put on the lid, forward or backward or whatnot, but that is how it's done. Now this is what my fridge looks like full. We also do have across from me right here, you can see it, that is our UV light. So that turns on to, I guess, sanitize, disinfect the refrigerator. At times you'll see a little icon on the monitor pop up when it's doing that. And then on the other side, we've got our little light. Now, here's the thing with the light. When you open this fridge up, this is one of the things I do not like. You'll see the light is not on. You have to really open the lid up all the way for it to kick on. And even when it does, the light is pretty lackluster. I'm pretty disappointed in the light overall. Now, I've got to say, it's not something I really need. I've got a mounted scene light by Baja Designs right here that covers this whole area. And so when I'm in my fridge, I've got no issues. I can easily see what is in there by using that Baja Designs light, but I don't know. I already emailed ICECO about it and kind of let them know my thoughts on it. It really, if you're going to put a light in there, I feel like it should be brighter, but not super necessary for my use case, but for yours, it might be. So inside, this is what the contents of my fridge look like currently. Look, I typically am going on pretty short trips, and so it's pretty easy for me to, you know, make it through a weekend or so, like I kind of talked about earlier with the size of this fridge. And we will kind of talk about capacity and dimensions and all that in a minute here, but I just wanted to give you guys a look-see inside. You know, I got a couple of beers in here. I really like those sparkling water beverages, some eggs, and then I've been doing these like pre-made meals from the grocery store recently. So like I've got like P.F. Chang's orange chicken. That's dinner tonight because they're just easy. You just have to heat them up. So just food for thought there. All right, since it's beeping at me, I might as well show you guys this. This is a pretty cool feature to let you know, hey, your lid is off or open. And so that is pretty cool. Kind of beeps at you, yells at you, lets you know, hey, you're letting all the cold air out. So another cool feature. Now, I actually did reach out and request this as well. ICECO is kind enough to include this, but this is the JP Pro slide right here. And so I thought I would include that in this video as well. Look, I've wanted a fridge slide in the rear of the truck, especially if you've got a pickup truck and you've got this tailgate right here. Tailgates can be super useful, but it does kind of push back the fridge a little bit. And so there's that big gap. It's been a pain to try in the past to get back there and get access to my fridge. And so having this fridge slide is really nice, totally buttery smooth, has 2 stopping locations. So that was the first one, and here is the second. It can come out pretty far, which actually allows for really, really easy access into the fridge. And so that is the slide. Now, something that is specific about these JP50 Pro series fridges is, look at these dimensions. I'm going to pull them up in a second and read them off to you guys because I don't remember them off the top of my head, but it's a very thin fridge. So obviously, like I said, this is the 50. If you got the 40, it's going to be a little bit shorter, but same width, which is really cool. One problem you might run into with this fridge is if you're somebody who's running drawer systems, it's a little bit taller so you're saving some width here, but you're definitely a little bit taller than normal. I had a deck system in the past. I'll probably never have a drawer system again. I guess never say never, but so I don't know how well that would work because this is the space that you have. I didn't measure it, but I mean, it's like looking like maybe 8 to 10 inches that you've got left. in height. So if you've got a drawer system, definitely you're gonna have to think that through. If you got the 40, you'd probably be in a much better situation, but let me grab those dimensions really quick and we'll read those off. So when I do these reviews, I like to just read the specifications straight off of the website because I don't do a good job remembering all this the technical information that well. Dimensions, 28.5 inches long, 13.8 inches wide, 21 inches tall, 51 quart capacity, 47 liters. Net weight is 40.7 pounds. Compressor, CCOP, type of compressor it has. Wattage, 50 watts. UV sterilizer, 30 minutes. Cooling range, -4 degrees Fahrenheit to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Power source, DC 24 volt or AC 110 volt to 120 volts. So that's the dimensions, the boring stuff, but important for you to know. This thing has been incredibly efficient for me. So I know it said runs at 50 watts. That's going to be its wattage output. But the thing is, like right now, it's not running. It just holds that cool air really, really well. Now, in the past, I've used budget refrigerators. What's special about the ICECOs is I kind of feel like they're kind of somewhere in the middle. They're in a more affordable price range. We'll look up the price before we get off, but I'm just spitballing here. I think it's like $5.99 to get the fridge and the cover. The cover comes included, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. But you get something that's really reliable, really well built, versus the budget fridge where, you know, you'll probably have something that will get the job done at maybe half the price, maybe a little bit more, but you're gonna need to replace in a short time span. Now, I'm not gonna talk about the fridge that I had before, but it was one of those budget fridges, and the reason why this collaboration is taking place right now is because it was time for me to get a new fridge. ICECO is exactly the company that I would want to work with on a collaboration like this. I was very excited to hear from them on this collaboration, and the fridge is just a step above. The build quality is fantastic. The efficiency is phenomenal, and I haven't even noticed it. The compressor turn on. Real quick, I'll turn this around. The compressor hasn't been running, I think, since we've been doing this video because it's stayed at its cooling temperature. I think I've got it set to like 37 or something like that, and so if it goes above 40, it should kick on. So it may kick on in a second, but even if it does, the compressor is so incredibly quiet that it's really hard to notice. And so definitely something we're showing you guys if I can get it to kick on while we're still doing this video, but just something I wanted to point out. Now, before we move on, since we were talking about specifications, I want to talk about this. This is what I used to do its testing. Usually when I get these refrigerators in to do these YouTube tests, reviews, what I'll do is I'll set them up inside the house, hook them up to a power bank. So this is the one I used for this specific video. And I will run them for a couple days and see exactly how long they will run based off of this capacity. So what I'm using here is a Pecron E600. Now this is a super affordable power bank, but it is only a 628 watt-hour capacity power bank. And so not too much. Most fridges would probably last about 2 days off of this. Now, the settings and the conditions that we ran the ICECO in during the test, it was about 75 degrees Fahrenheit, an average of that for the time period that we did, and it lasted a full 3 days off of this. And I actually cut this off at about 20%, and so it possibly would have gone another day, but I did not want to damage the power bank by overusing it. And so that's a pretty big testament on the efficiency of a fridge like this. It was empty at the time as well. Now, these things normally run a lot more efficiently when they've got something cool inside them, like say you've got some beverages inside them. It should have lasted a lot longer if that was the conditions, but I tested this thing out the first couple days completely empty, plugged up to this on eco mode, and it lasted 3 days. And so I was really blown away by that. After that, immediately put it in the back of the truck with the cover on it, and it's been back here since. Now, the way I run this thing is I have a dual battery system, not a super high quality dual battery system on this truck, but I do leave the refrigerator running full time. And it's just the combination between the dual battery setup and the fridge, being that it runs pretty efficiently, is not something I ever have to think about. Typically, we'll get back from our trips and it will be, I don't know, at least a week before I actually get back here and unload the refrigerator of whatever contents are remaining from our trip. Just because normally it's kind of a weekend warrior type deal for us. We get back and the next morning it's work week starts, and so I really like the ability to just not have to think about it, leave the fridge back here running all the time, and I pretty much always have perishable items in it, and it's just not something I ever have to worry about. Really great fridge. So I unplugged it so I can get the protective cover back on. Essentially, you've got these two little openings here on the bottom. That's where the wheels go in, and then it kind of sits into this bottom piece, and then we'll zip it on. So I'll do that real quick. So this is what it looks like with the protective cover on. As you can see, the wheels kind of fit into these holes right here. There's still an opening for your power outlets, another wheel opening. You've got some holes for the handle on both sides. And then you've got a nice kind of like plastic covering over the control panel. All right, now that the protective cover's back on, I just kind of want to show you what it's like to actually use this thing with the cover on. The zipper comes back here. So you got to zip it all the way around to get to it. Now, if you're not going in and out of the fridge, I think this is a great feature on the trail. It can keep your refrigerator protected from stuff flying around back here like we all know it does. It also keeps it insulated. And so I think that's something that really contributes to the efficiency of this fridge. I've literally been running it with this protective cover on the entire time I've had it. And so been really happy with it. Now, while I'm out at camp for the evening, this is probably what I'm going to do, is just kind of throw it over like that. Oops, keys fell. Throw it over like that. And then when I need to get into it, I can. But when we're hitting the trail, I'll zip it back up, push it in, and we're good to go. I still think it's super useful because it keeps it protected and insulated while it's back here and I'm not using it consistently. But out at camp, yeah, if I was going in and out of it and in and out of it and the kids wanted to get stuff out of it, it'd be kind of annoying to continuously zip it, but you can kind of just leave that open at camp. So I don't think there's much else that I can say about the fridge except for go buy one. I'm going to have a link in the video description, an affiliate link, as well as a discount code available for you guys. If you guys use those links, that code, it will support the channel, helps me create more content just like this. If this is your first time watching the channel, I encourage you to check out some of my other content. We like to go on a lot of trips as a family, and we see some really amazing places. Recently, we were just out in Utah, and I think that is going to be the video that comes out directly after this one. And I've never been so excited for a video ever. It was just such a dream of a trip. And looking forward to getting out, doing this kind of stuff more, and reviewing some more products for you guys in the future. Now, if you don't mind, I've got a nice cold beverage, and I'm in a beautiful spot in my local mountains. I'm gonna get to the rest of the afternoon. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.